Hello folks, this is Margie Roy from 3dcuts.com, and today I'm going to put together the tutorial on how to make my Zig Zag Nativity card. This is my 4th Christmas card using the Zig Zag format. Be sure to check out the gingerbread card and the 2 villages as well. So let's get started. This card is designed to fold flat for easy mailing and storage. When you open it and you look at the bottom side, you can see the zigzag portion. That's why it's called a zigzag card. I have already cut all of the pieces using my silhouette cutting machine. I have adhered them to an old mat just to keep me from losing the little pieces. For this project, I used the AC cardstock in vanilla. It's a wonderful ivory color. It's got a nice texture, and I really love how this cuts, especially the tiny details. So to get started, take the 2 main pieces. They are the long ones. One has Joseph and Mary, and the other has the manger and the cow. The one with the manger and the cow is going to get folded towards us on a dotted fold line, like so. The one with Joseph and Mary and baby Jesus gets folded toward us on the baby Jesus, on the manger. And then there's another line right at Mary's feet and at Joseph's feet that you're going to fold back on, like so. So here we have a fold like this one. These 2 pieces will slide together like so to create the zigzag. But before we do that, we want to add some of the details. On Mary and Joseph, we need to add the wise man. I am going to be using art glitter glue. This has no glitter in it. I like it because it dries clear, but I have transferred it to a little bottle so that I have a tiny tip, because you need a tiny tip for these pieces. Apply the glue to the back side, and you'll know right where to place it because he's silhouetted on the mountain. Match him up carefully and adhere him in place. This just gives you the detail of the legs. Okay, on the manger, we need to put the star in the back. And the star is made from 2 pieces, a larger one and a smaller one. Both of these fold towards you on the dotted line in the center. Like so. There we go. Onto the smaller star, I'm going to run a line of glitter glue right down the dotted score line on the back side. And then I'm going to glue that into the center of the larger star. And then I'm going to take that larger star and I am going to glue it into the center of the manger right here. It'll touch right there in the corner and in this corner as well. I want it to be so that the center of the star is just about at the top of the manger, like that. I need to make sure that my manger will still fold in half, and it does. We'll let that dry. Now we're going to take the two end pieces. There is the one with the two camels and the one with the shepherd. These pieces get put on to the end of the zigzag here. On the one with the two wise men, fold forward on the center and then forward on the two tabs at each end. Here we have another two wise men that need to be glued on. On these end ones, you have to be careful because the wise men will be glued on one side and the palm tree will be glued on the other. Make sure you match up the wise men correctly. They have different hats and different gifts. You could use a Xyron to put the glue on these, but I like using the art glitter glue because it gives me a little bit of time to reposition if I don't get things exactly right. Okay, then this one will fold over and the small palm tree will get placed there. The bases will line up. On this, you only want to put glue on the trunk of the tree. If this is going to be used as a decor item, you can curl out some of the palm fronds to give it some more dimension, but you can't if you glue them down. Okay, that's the right side. On the left side, we will fold it away from us so that the textured side of the shepherd is to the front and the plain side of the palm tree is facing forward. The two tabs get folded into the center. Here, the palm tree gets placed onto the non-textured side, and again, I just put glue on the trunk. Close that up, and I will glue the shepherd here as well. These are double layered, mostly just to give you more strength so that these don't bend, especially the fine things like this hook. There we go. Now, let's start assembling it. The manger is in my right hand, Joseph and Mary in my left hand, and these slits just slide together like so. They should be able to go in far enough so that the bottoms align perfectly. I am going to take a very tiny piece of Scotch tape, about like so. I'm going to flatten this, and in this joint right here, I'm going to put that small piece of tape. That's a joint that will not be visible. I got it stuck to itself. Let's get another piece of tiny tape. That's a spot that will not be visible when the card is together, and this just helps it stay in place as you're working. So a tiny piece of tape there on one end, and flip it over and do the same thing on the other end. Make sure the bases are lined up before you tape it in place. Right there. Okay, now I am going to carefully crease and make sure that this card will fold and that my star can fold as well. And it does. Does the zigzag work? Yes, it does. So that's the beginning of the zigzag card. The right end is the cow and the single wise men. The other two wise men are going to get applied to that end. Take score tape, and I want you to put a strip of score tape on the inside of the tab closest to the wise men, and on the outside of the tab where the palm tree is. We are going to peel the end closest to the wise men first, and that will wrap around to the back of the piece with the other wise men. You'll see that the hills meet up, the bottom meets up right at the fold there. And we will press that in place, but making sure that we still can fold it. Now let's flatten our zigzag. This piece will come over here, bend under, and get adhered right there. You do this while it's flat to be sure that it will be able to fold flat and go into an envelope for storage or mailing. So flatten that out, line up the base, and it is slightly behind there. That's good. That's okay. It could be perfectly lined up or slightly behind. And again, we test it. Everything's good. Now we'll go over to the other side. This one will get adhered here, and again, the side with the pine tree, we're going to apply score tape here to the inside of the tab. And to the outside of the tab over by the shepherd. We are going to peel the score tape by the palm tree first, and that will wrap around to the back side of the card with the two palm trees. Again, make sure that it can still fold and press in place. Peel the score tape backing off the other tab. I've got a little extra there, so I'm going to fold that back. And again, with it being flat, we bring this over, we line up the bottoms, and we press in place. There we go. Now we have the 3 diamonds that make up the zigzag card. We need to add the other layers. To the front goes the front of the manger, and to the back goes the distant scenery. The front of the manger gets folded in half, going back. If you want, you can reverse this peak. There are dotted lines to make it fold in a little bit. That's a personal preference, and you can do it either way. There are 2 tabs down here which you fold toward you. And you will put score tape on the back side of both of those. The front manger piece is going to get slid right on here and go in front of Mary and Joseph. The tabs will get attached to the fence on this side by the cow and on this side by the sheep. So you can peel either one, align your bottoms, and get this right into the corner there and adhere in place. Peel your other score tape on the other tab and repeat this in the other corner. There. Now we have the front manger. Again, let's test and make sure everything folds. And open it again. The back scenery folds towards you with the 2 palm trees on the right. And these do not have tabs, they just get adhered right into that back side. Here I'm going to use 1/8" score tape because it does let the motion work a little better if it's not too much glued down. Put it on both ends. Press in place. Peel either end. It is going to get aligned right here with the slit on the back side, right like that. And the other end, peel that one. Gets aligned with the other slit right there. And if you look at your card now, you have the multiple layers of the manger, Joseph and Mary, the back fence, and the back landscape, like so. There are a few other details to add. We have 2 fences and 3 more sheep. These fences get applied in front of the animals to the left and the right. One goes in front of the cow. Making it appear that he's now behind the fence. And the other goes in front of the sheep on the other side. Press in place. The 3 little sheep, one of them facing left is to get put here. I like the littler one here, I think. Like so. It goes over this post here. The first little lamb gets placed here, facing the other one. And then we can put one out here by this palm tree. And at this end as well. There. Here is our folding nativity. If you're using it as a decor item, you can fold out some of these. And make sure that the star is a little more three-dimensional. Now let's make an envelope that we can put this in. The download includes a template for an envelope. I've done it with dotted score lines and without, depending on how you want to make it. If you're going to mail, it is better to score the folds than to use the dotted score line method. So I'm going to put these on my Martha Stewart scoring tray and mark the fold lines. Fold all of these in. This piece will get adhered like so. I will use score tape on this. I will put score tape on 3 edges of the rectangle. I also like to put a little score tape along the top of this bottom one so that the card slides in more easily without getting hooked on that. So peel that one, fold this side in on top of it, fold this side in on top of it, peel these 3, carefully position this here and adhere in place. Now your card can fold up and carefully be slid into the envelope for mailing or storage. I'm going to give this as a gift, so I'm not going to seal it. I'm going to use a pretty ribbon and tie it shut. Like so. Isn't that a special gift to give? Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy crafting, everyone, and thanks for watching.